Welcome to Florida, here to visit my friend Freddy, Tavarish. We are long overdue a catch-up and there's a ton to talk about. We're going to go for a tour in the workshop, talk about the collection, there are tons of new cars, and the projects, what's going on at the moment. Now, Smellcat the Hellcat is familiar. We've had a drag race in the past, in fact, but the weather here in Florida is doing weather in Florida things. It's probably about to thunderstorm, so we want to get inside. We've actually driven in a rental, the Rogue. We thought about getting a GTH, the rental racer, but my Mustang along with the Ford GT are currently in transit from one place to another. There's a lot going on, so giving this a go. You never know. Hey, hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Let's head inside, go catch up with Tavarish. Here we are then.
Hello!
How you doing?
How are you, man?
Very good. Nice cheesy entry.
Yes.
We are back and this is looking epic.
Yeah, so I cleaned up a little bit because I knew you were coming. We're actually working on a hot new video. And when I mean hot new video, I actually don't know what video. This is Tommy, my editor for the second channel and cameraman. So yeah, let's take a look at the cars.
Let's head on it. It has been a while. It's been about a year, I think, since we were here. Obviously, you've mixed around the workshops. You've got this side, yes. You've also got the other side.
Yes.
This is like the pretty side, the storage side?
So this is going to be the sort of epicenter for my new detailing channel. So we're going to do like a bunch of detailing, and this is where all the finished cars go. Because what was happening was we had a lot of cars that were clean, and then we had a lot of dirty work right next to them, and it was not very good.
That pain is very real.
Yes.
We're going to touch on this.
Yeah.
We're going to touch on what's going on over here, but I don't even know where to begin. Like, I spot Matt's RS6 is still here, Rich's Tesla. You've got like tons of different things, some really random stuff around as well.
Yeah,
like...
so this is like a sort of like a YouTuber dumping ground. So all the people's projects that come from all over, they just kind of put them in my shop and then they forget about them.
Am I going to leave a car here one day?
Yeah, I would love that, because your car would actually be clean.
It would start on the button, it would be ready to go.
I mean, listen, if it's in the shop, probably won't start anymore. But yeah, so we have the RS6, it's Matt Armstrong's. It is freak nasty wide. I mean, look at this. It's impossible to park anywhere, especially in America, but this is right-hand drive, and this is actually going back to the UK because they can only have this for a certain amount of time here.
Yeah, it came out for SEMA last year.
Yes.
Then the engine went bang.
Yeah, but now the engine is, I think the engine's, yeah, I mean, it should be good. Yeah, there it goes.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. No, it actually does drive really well. Has about 650 horsepower at the wheels. Not sure how many times it can be launched or anything like that, because look at how wide it is. There are some spacers and stuff, but this is a really cool car. Super, super loud, but not mine. I kind of wish it was. But then I kind of wish it wasn't because of the wide
Tell you
body.
what though, even though it's silly wide, it still fits under the Benpack Auto Stackers. You've got a new set of those here.
Yes, and these are, I got these because I was jealous of you. And you had these in your museum, and I'm like, that looks so dope. And I got the same amount. You got 7, right?
Yep, you got the same number.
Yeah, and I got 7. And I figured I could just do like a little semicircle peninsula of cars here.
That's cool though.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, RS6. Then we got a Tesla with a V8. It's a 6.2 liter supercharged, the Magnuson supercharger. Again, not my car. This is Rich Rebuild's car. And he built that originally for SEMA, and they call it the Ice-T. Because internal combustion engine Tesla. Yeah. So this was, I mean, it makes all kinds of noise. It's on airbags, so that's why it's all the way down, so it's just dumped. But you can turn a car on, it goes up to normal height, and it's very quick. I mean, it has a manual transmission, and it has like a sequential shifter.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really rowdy.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. But we're just keeping that here because it's cool, and Rich is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Then we have my 3000 GT VR4. This is a Skyline R32 GTR Nismo. They made 500 of these, homologation special, lighter, no ABS, that sort of thing. Not my car, actually. I'm just storing it for a friend. That's actually going bye-bye from the shop. This was it still is a Porsche 996 Turbo. It is a really nice shade of blue, and interior is like a peanut butter, and we gave this to my detailer. You know him, Matt from E3 Customs.
Yes, of course. Been down there. Epic.
Yeah. So we built this car. Originally, it had like this crazy engine that had 4.2 liters and like big turbos and stuff. We put a stock engine in there, so now it runs and drives and all that stuff. And we gave it to Matt because that was one of his dream cars, and he's just like an awesome guy. So yeah, we did that. This is one of Rex's cars. He just got this, and I know nothing about it. Do you know anything about Porsches?
Not the most in the world. So it looks nice. So
this is a Porsche 993. It's a later model. I believe it's a 97. Somebody in the audience is going to be like screaming at me. But it is a regular Carrera, but the blue is very similar. So I decided, I'm like, we should probably put the two Porsches on top of each other.
Done.
Yeah, so these are the last air-cooled 911s. So they command like a pretty high premium. I'm not a big air-cooled guy. Like, I'm not, like, the air-cooled stuff, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think air-cooled 911s are good?
I prefer the newer ones.
I do too. They're so nice. They're so good. They're so good.
On that, before we get destroyed, shall we move on?
Yeah. So this was a Super that we built for my detailer Rex, and then we gave that to him before SEMA. So this is like, it's full custom everything and 600 something horsepower to the wheels. Same goes for Jack's Evo. He built that, and this is Jack, the guy who does a lot of my body work and things like that. We work together, and he has a channel, and you can see the channel right here. It's called Jack Builds It. Actually, let me open this up for you.
Ooh, nice.
So, yeah, so this is all his work. I mean, this car was crashed in the front, and he rebuilt literally everything. Underneath the car, you can eat off of it. Like, he replaced the frame rails, and he painted the underside and then undercoated it. And, like, this is the cleanest Lancer Evo, and it's also really, really, really fast. Up above, my Ferrari 430 Scuderia. That was converted to manual. And then we also have these guys. The center lock wheels from a F430 Challenge.
Okay.
So they are real race car parts. We have an F430 Challenge steering rack. So it's like click, click. Yeah, like there's less than 2 turns lock to lock.
It's
fun.
Great for maneuvering?
It's great for maneuvering. U-turns are not a thing in this car. Very, very bad turning radius, but it's very quick. And then this is one of my favorite, if not the favorite in the garage right now, McLaren 625 LT.
Kind of back from the dead again.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah. So I originally got this, and it was crashed in the front and back and looked like a crumpled piece of paper. You saw it when it first got here. Not
indeed.
like all those years ago.
It was over here.
Yes.
In a mess. Mm-hmm. Absolutely wrecked.
Yeah. And it was in a really, really, really bad way. But we did everything that we could and also added the roof scoop. And then I blew the engine. So that was fun. So we had like rods and stuff out of the block.
We had the fun of the fact that we went out in it together.
Yes.
But I hadn't uploaded the video by the time that you guys had blown it up.
Yes.
And then everybody thought you'd fixed it in about a week.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like we actually did fix it in about a week. I took the car to up to Cannonball Garage in Chicago,
yep.
And we took the engine out. We took a 4-liter from a 720S, and then we built that, so forged rods, pistons, and like different head internals and stuff like that. And then we built that, put the engine in, and then put it on the dyno all in a week. So that was a fun week.
Not bad.
Yeah. So now the car makes a ton more low-end torque, like it's all low-end now. And this thing is just a rocket ship. I love driving it. And yeah, I mean, I love the look of this. I think this is probably one of the best looking McLarens ever made.
Indisputably.
I'm not really a fan of the new ones. The 765, I feel like it has too many like things going on.
That era was about the same as this era, right?
Same designer. So Frank Stephenson designed both of these cars, and I think this was probably, like, along with the P1, this was the most complete design.
Yeah.
So the 650S, I'm getting really geeky, but like the people who like McLaren in the audience are going to be like, oh yeah. The 650S had a very similar front end. it was a little bit more muted, but the back end was essentially the same as the MP412C, and it just didn't fit right. But this has a different back end. It just looks the part everywhere. Like there's no bad lines on this car.
Next comes a car I had a very small part in. Very small, like the smallest of the small.
No, but you still did something. So this is the Porsche 911 992 GT3 that was first owned by Adam LZ, and then unfortunately he had a crash, and then Matt Armstrong bought it, brought it here, and then we rebuilt it. I mean, it's mostly his team. I had like a little bit to do with it. But then after he rebuilt it and did a bunch of stuff to it, I bought it off him because this is quite possibly the best manual car I've ever driven. It's so good.
I was about to say, there aren't many supercars that have been owned by like 3 very large car YouTubers. Except when it comes to you, Tyler, and Ed, there actually are.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's like Tyler calls them sloppy seconds, but like listen, I'm totally fine with this. This is it's a fantastic looking car. It sounds great. It has an exhaust on it and aftermarket HRE wheels. But this car, I think I'm probably going to end up taking this car home tonight. And I've been driving this everywhere. I think now it has like around 9,000 miles. I think we got it around 2,000 miles.
Oh, cool. So you're using it quite a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you can see there's rock chips and stuff on the car, and you know, it's a usable car. But if anybody ever gets the chance to drive one of these things, like a Porsche 992 GT3 with a manual, it makes you feel like a race car driver. Every single, like it makes you feel like you're such a better driver than you actually are. And it has 4-wheel steering, and it feels like telepathic. I mean, I'm doing the Hackney journalist thing where it's like, it drives like it's on rails, but it really does. It makes you feel special in this car. So if ever you can get in a GT3 or GT3 RS or whatever,
you got to give it a go.
You got to do it, yeah. But then SL55 AMG. I mean, you know about these things. 5.4 liter supercharged, and we're doing a bunch of stuff to that. But then we got the 2 Astons.
One of which I know very well because I borrowed it from you and drove it quite a few miles.
Yes,
I think I did about 1,000 miles in it. Did I?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is a driver. We just hit 40,000 miles in this car.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this is my 2009 Aston Martin DBS. It's a manual, and this is Casino Royale, and this is James Bond spec. So it is black interior, and it is the 2+0, so it's just a 2-seater, and then you have some room in the back for some things. Don't have a lot of room in the trunk, though, in the boot.
No. Do you remember, though, it was when I was out here in Florida for a couple of months, nearly 4 years ago now, it's crazy, but before I bought my GT500, you kindly allowed me to run around in this for a couple of weeks, which was really cool, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a great car, and now we have an exhaust on it. It makes it sound like a little, old F1 car.
Yeah.
But it's not the fastest thing in the world. It has like about 510 horsepower, brake horsepower, and 5.9 or 6 liter V12, depending on who you ask. But it's a very, very good Grand Tour. It's super comfortable, sounds great. This is my money, no object dream car. Like I bought this and I'm like, I'm never getting rid of it. And you can see we drive it. There's rock chips everywhere. The clear coat is faded on the headlight here. Like, I don't really care. And the same goes for this. This is my 2007 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Used to belong, I bought it originally from Doug DeMuro.
Yeah,
so this was his Doug car back in like 2014 or 2015-ish. And I bought this from him, and then I had to sell it in order to get like my first Lamborghini. And then I really just wanted the car back. So like I bought this back about 8 months ago. And it was wrapped and all this stuff, and we took off the wrap and we did like a mild restoration to it, and now it runs and drives great. Has almost 90,000 miles on it.
We share that in common, buying back our old Vantages.
They're such good cars. Like they're really such good values for money. It's insane.
Completely.
Yeah.
Like the value of those cars now, I guess it depends on the region, is like the same as buying a new electric small little runaround car. I
mean, honestly, so I bought this back for exactly what I sold it for like 36 grand.
Yeah.
And I think What
does 36 grand get you of a new car?
I don't know, like a mid-grade Camry. I don't know. Like
Or a naturally aspirated V8 Aston Martin.
This one has a dry sump in it. It's a dry sump V8. It's crazy. So, I mean, again, this is a 4.3, so not as much power as a 4.7 that you had.
There's not much difference. It's 400 odd, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's more like, this had 380.
Okay.
I did a few things to the exhaust and whatever. You can probably bump it up to 400, but on the 4.7 they had a little bit more torque, that sort of thing. But still, it's a wonderful car. It sounds great. I love the timeless look of this car.
Yeah.
I think they got it right out of the box. And just like the McLarens, it's a theme of mine that British cars tend to look better. You know, like these are like the heyday of these cars. I think after this, they just kind of went downhill. Not saying that there aren't good-looking Aston Martins, but I think these are the best-looking Aston Martins in the last, like, 20-ish years.
I think a lot of people will agree with you.
Yeah.
Talk to me, what's going on here, though? Because this is where it gets a bit weird. You've got a bike, you've got two very unusual things.
So my friend and detailer Rex, he likes to collect weird stuff, and he has some friends that collect weird stuff. So that's his bike. I have no idea. I'm not a bike guy. It's a bike. I'm going to look up what it says on the side.
What does it say it is?
It's a CBR 1000 R. There's so many R's in that. I feel like that's superfluous.
It sounds fast.
Yeah, it's a red, and it's a color of fast. So I bet this is just a ticket magnet. This is...
What is this?
This is, it's called a Corbin Sparrow. Mm-hmm. And this is a very early EV car. Now, this is basically like a McLaren F1 because you have a center driving position. And they also made only 100 of them. So it's like a hypercar.
There we go. It's even rarer than a McLaren F1.
It is, because they made 106 of those.
I'm very jealous. You've driven an F1, haven't you?
I have not driven. I've ridden in one. I've not.
You did the car track shoot.
Yes. But so this is an electric car with there's no lithium here. It's all lead acid. So like old car batteries, there's just a bunch of them in here. And it's pretty sprightly, but if you turn, oh my God, it just feels like the wrong end of a Reliant Robin. It's very, very bad. So this, I think, needs some polishing or something because I have no idea why it's here. I really don't.
Well, it's nearly as cool as this.
This actually is mine, though. This is an AutoZam AZ1. And AutoZam was a mark made by, it was a kind of love child of Suzuki and Mazda in the early 90s. And what they had in Japan, this Japanese car, was a designation called Keijidosha, which is, they abbreviated K-car. And it means that you can only have a car that was 3 meters long. It had restrictions on how big the engine was, so you can only have 660cc max. So it allowed people to get smaller cars into smaller spaces. It's Japan, Tokyo, they have, they have a space issue. So Japanese car manufacturers then made, all these cars. So they had vans, they had pickup trucks, and they had little supercars, because look at this.
Going doors.
Look at that. This is basically a Pagani Huayra.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's right in there.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the new Pagani has a manual. This has a manual. There you go.
Bucket seats.
Bucket seats. And if you look behind, that's where the spare tire goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, but you could put your fitted luggage back there.
Absolutely.
Your suit hanger and all of that.
Actually, what does it say? It says AZ1 midship DOHC turbo exciting micro coupe.
Ooh, it must be exciting.
Yeah, if it tells you it's exciting, it has to be exciting.
Yeah, you know it's going to be good.
Yeah, but so this is turbocharged as well. Okay. And it revs to like 11,000 RPM.
No way, really?
It's so cool. It's like a little bike. So I've gotten this up to like 80 miles an hour. And it is super sketchy. There's no sway bars in it or anything, so it just like wallows around. And it has these Volk TE37s, but I think they're 13 inches or maybe even 12s. They're tiny, tiny, tiny wheels. But this is one of the more fun cars. Not meant for American roads, though.
No.
Yeah, it's not really good for that. No. But I think in the UK, this would be really good.
It genuinely agreed.
I think so, yeah.
Small parking spaces.
Yeah.
Narrow roads.
Yeah, B roads, yeah, that'd be great.
You'd probably fly down roads quicker in that thing than many others.
And it'll do 70 miles an hour. That's all you got to do in the UK. So.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
What's the deal with that?
Again, this is not mine because I'm not an EV guy. But this is owned by the same guy that owns that shoe over there.
Yeah.
This is an original Tesla Roadster. And this was imported from Japan. I know it's left-hand drive, but it was imported from Japan. This has a bunch of carbon fiber on it, and we are, me and my detailer Rex, we're starting this channel called Art of the Flip, and we're basically breathing some new life, sort of like wheeler dealers. We're breathing new life into these neglected cars, and we're sort of trying to hope to turn a profit or just get some sort of like more value out of these cars.
But the first gen Tesla Roadsters, they're appreciating anyway. They're
they
like
are very
highly
much
sought after. It was the first.
Yeah.
It's the first Tesla model.
This one was bought very cheaply. I'm not going to say how cheap, but if we clean this up, and I mean, you can see all the carbon fiber bits.
Yeah.
If we clean this up right, this could be worth 5 times what it was bought for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
But this has, actually, I mean, you can hear everything going. Do you know how to go into the back? I can show you the battery.
Nothing.
Yeah, well,
I know nothing about how this works.
I also don't know, but so this was based on a Lotus Elise, but then the frame was stretched, I think 6 inches, and
they squished a battery into it.
Yeah, let me. Tommy, do you know how to open this Tesla?
No.
My man. All right.
Are we just going to watch you struggle here?
Yeah.
Are we going to have to admit defeat on this one?
Maybe. Okay, well, whatever. If you ever seen an electric battery, that's what's in here. There you go. But this thing is pretty quick. I tend to think of these things as like off Power Wheels cars. You ever played with Power Wheels? Do they have those in the UK?
No.
In a kit? So it's like little electric, cars. They're tiny things for kids.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So here in the States, they're called Power Wheels. And I never had those as a kid because if you did, then you were like the kid on the block that had to let everybody else drive around your Power Wheels.
And this is kind of that for grown-ups.
This is that, but just yeah.
For grown-ups. Can I draw attention over towards that side of the room?
Yeah.
You got some unusual things going on. I'm actually incredibly jealous of this.
Yes.
Because I saw when Sam, Hard Up Garage, was showing this. And I was like, that's just cool.
This is my new LaFerrari. Yeah. This is...
you have 2 of the Holy Trinity.
Exactly. Sort of. I mean, honestly, this is more complete car than that at this point. So this is a LaFerrari wood and clay model. And it was made by a company in the UK that make OEM models for different manufacturers. So what they did for this is, I'm not sure what manufacturer they made it for, but is a complete like one-to-one copy of a LaFerrari. Now, obviously, it doesn't have doors or mirrors or anything like that.
Wheels.
Well, actually, we do have wheels.
It does have wheels.
I mean, check this out. Look at that.
Oh, I would. This would make a nice ride.
Yeah. That. Oh, there are tolerances here, but honestly, it's something where I didn't have to pay anything for this car other than just shipping it over.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is so cool. I mean, it needs a few things. It's sort of cracked down the middle here. But what we're gonna do?
All stuff that can be done.
All stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's wood. It's not like it's not structural or anything. I don't care. So what we're gonna do is at some point when I have some free time, I will paint this in the Rosso. What is the color for this? Actually, you'll know.
Rosso Corsa?
Rosso Corsa?
You want to go Ferrari red?
Yeah.
Rosso Corsa?
Yeah, so we'll do Rosso Corsa, and then we'll get some, we'll make some replica wheels, and we'll stick them on here, and then when I build a new garage at my house, I'll put this on the wall.
So will you find a 918 that's in perfect shape to complete it?
I would.
You've got your wooden LaFerrari, your flooded P1.
I would love. No. 918 has to be it has to be on fire, just all the time. It just has to be on fire. But yeah, I like just looking at it here. I just had it delivered probably 2 weeks ago, so that's why everything is a little bit dirty. But this excites me a lot because it's just a little piece of art.
It's cool. I love it.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I mean,
I'm actually insanely jealous of it. Like,
would you,
jealous.
If we got this all done and looking like an actual LaFerrari, I mean, would you like it?
We can certainly talk about it.
Okay, let's do it.
Send it back across to our side of the pond.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll wrap it better this time.
It would look good with my newfound obsession for Ferraris and growing collection.
Well, I mean, this would look perfect in this museum.
I mean, a real one would be about $4 million, so I'm a couple of million short of that.
This would be less than that.
Less than 4 million.
How about half price? For you, half price.
Only 2 million.
Only 2 million, yeah.
Bargain.
Yeah, don't look at this.
Bargain.
So this is a...
It's a Diablo, right?
It's a Diablo replica.
Yeah.
So this is actually a it's the closest replica that you can get. And it was so close that the company that made this chassis is called NAERC, North American Exotic Replica Cars. They got sued by Lamborghini in 1998 because their chassis were so similar. So you have a lot of like real Lambo parts on here, and all the dimensions are exactly the same. Now there are a few fit and finish issues with this, but yeah, it's so cool. And one good thing about the Lamborghini Diablo, especially the late model ones, is that these headlights are just from a Nissan 300 ZX.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and the way you can tell is because, well, right here Lamborghini put this little carbon fiber strip. And that's only because it says Nissan right here underneath the carbon fiber.
It's great, isn't it?
It's the most Italian thing ever. They're
there are so many of those stories. The F1 has parts borrowed from other cars.
The McLaren F1 has part like the taillights from a bus.
And the air conditioning controls in a Zonda, which everyone loves.
So the Zonda has the same air conditioning controls as in the Mercy, which is the same air conditioning controls as in a Rover 45.
Exactly. The more you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is going to another YouTuber friend of mine, and this has an LS supercharged in it. I have never heard it run. I don't know how it runs, but we'll make a project out of this. But this isn't going on my channel anytime soon. I do want it, but well, I've
heard you've got something else to work on.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
So welcome everyone.
I've been lucky to visit you and see this at various stages.
Yes.
Like when you had just got it.
Yeah.
We've seen it at SEMA when you had the project with Valvoline and the livery on it.
Yeah.
All the different things. I don't want to go to too much because obviously I'm sure you've got episodes coming up that are going to explain more.
I mean, we can go through it all. So this is 2015 McLaren P1. Supposed to be the record holder for price for one of these cars. So this was bought for $2 million about 10 days before a major Hurricane Ian, hit the west coast of Florida. So it hit around Naples area, and this got carried out of the garage where it was in. And there was like 9 foot of storm surge, and this car was 100% underwater. And this was not only seawater, which is very, very salty, but there's also like raw sewage and like everything that you don't want in a $2 million hypercar was here. So we took it all apart. I mean, you can see there's no dash, nothing in it.
Yeah.
But you can see all the like this is the carbon fiber frame. This is the mono cage structure. So it's a little bit different than the MP412C and even that car. They had a mono tub, and everything up here was like aluminum or aluminium. Mm-hmm. This is a mono cage. Everything in this car, including like the bodywork and under panels and the fender liners, they're all carbon fiber. It's a lot like your Senna.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we decided to not only rebuild a McLaren P1, but we want to try to make the fastest McLaren on earth. So the McLaren P1 has a top speed of what, like 217? Something like that?
Officially, yep.
Officially 217. That is VMAX in 6th gear. This has 7 gears. So VMAX in 7th gear on a McLaren Speedtail, which was the successor to this car, that was 250 miles an hour because they had better power to weight and they also could do that 7th gear. We removed the battery from this car, so it's no longer a hybrid. We're doubling the power of the engine, so instead of making 727 horsepower in the engine, it's going to make around 1,300 to 1,400. So lowering weight, adding power, and we're going to try to get this to like 260-ish plus miles an hour.
Who's going to drive it at that?
Huh?
Who's going to drive it at that?
Mr. Ben Collins.
Is he?
Yeah. So we're gonna have Ben Collins, who is the former Stig of Top Gear. He's going to be driving that car at the Cape Canaveral test track. So it's 3 miles of runway, and that's also where the McLaren Speedtail did 250. So if that could do 250, then this can definitely do something. But it's still obviously a long ways away. We are doing a lot of things like the entire thing's going to be exposed carbon, because why not? So we're working with a company called Exotic Car Gear, and they made a bespoke body. We're actually using a McLaren P1 GTR rear, but we modified it where you can see that the stock wing is still integrated. So this is the wider GTR rear. See the GTR kind of flares.
But using the standard wing.
Yes, standard wing, because when you have the lower aero profile, you don't want this freak nasty wing.
If you're going for 260 miles an hour, you don't want a P1 GTR's fixed wing on the back.
So in that case, we also have to do different things to the aero modes and whatever. So it's going to be a lot of work. And also, I love gold. So I just, an homage to the F1. It had gold all over.
Yeah, gold on there.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's great. But yeah, we still have a lot of work cut out for us. The wiring harness is one of the things that we worked really, really hard on. It's taken me about 6 months so far, and a lot of money. We have to make the wiring harness from scratch. So none of the wiring harness in this car, this very complicated car, was usable.
Which is insane. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. But should be fun. Should be fun. So when this is done, you're going to take a ride. Like you're going to drive it. You have to drive it.
I'm coming straight out. Just give me the call.
Well, I also want to have this over in Europe. So
please do.
Yeah, we can do like a little road trip.
I'll be the storage for American cars that come over.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
We'll trade a car at some point.
Yep.
Dump that at my place, and I'll dump something out here. In the meantime, while we've been talking, the Tesla's rear compartment has magically opened.
Oh, has it? It's not because Tommy has done that, right?
No, it just happened.
Yeah, it just happened magically. Yeah.
Must have found the right thing to open it up.
Yep. So here she is. Roadster Sport. It says danger high voltage. I'm not going to touch that, but it does say sir, so it's very nice. It's very
polite.
It's proper British.
Yeah. It's proper.
But yeah, so this is it. This is the future. This is the future of.
This was the future.
Yep. Not anymore. Well, I mean, this is still worth quite a bit, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Boom.
Oh, that's carbon. Oh, that's nice. Have you ever wanted to get one of these?
I actually have. Might sound strange, but I actually have. Should we head over to your other side?
Yeah, we should.
You got a whole new workshop since I was
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's going to be a 3-hour-long video. All right, now welcome to the workshop. Now, I know that I've been yammering and blabbing for a while in the other shop, but we have a lot of work that we're doing here.
This is more what the other shop used to look like.
Oh, yeah. So we just moved everything to this other shop.
So this is the work side. The other side is the clean side.
Yeah, you can tell if there's smell-o-vision here, but there's some body shop dust in the air.
Yeah.
So this is a 2007 Audi R8 that we have modified into a 2014 Audi R8 V10 Plus. So we had to basically cut the back end of this car off in order to do this entire frame, and then this is the engine that's going inside it, because this has a DCT. This is a dual clutch gearbox, and these cars never came with it.
You've taken a manual V8.
It wasn't a manual. It was the
R-Tronic.
R-Tronic, yes.
You've taken the automated manual V8.
Yes.
And you shoved in a DCT equipped V10.
Yes.
Can I just ask, why didn't you just buy a V10?
Because listen, man,
would that be too easy?
That would be too easy, because I had this car. I had the V8 car that was originally Tyler Hoover's, and that was just not running right, and the engine wasn't running right. And then I ended up getting that car, which is the V10 car, all the way over there, and that was crashed in the front. So I figured, why not
combine the two?
Yeah, combine the two. Best of both worlds. But it turns out it's way harder. We also just painted the car, so that color is called Ron Burgundy. So nice. Yeah, there you go. Stay classy, San Diego. So we have that car. Then we have my Ford Focus RS. You're very familiar with these cars.
I'm indeed.
So this just developed a little bit of a leak, but it's still a really, really good car. Changing out the battery as well. So we're just doing a bit of spring cleaning. But yeah, it's nitrous blue, has Integrale wheels in white, has some striping on the side, has some side skirt extensions, active suspension, active exhaust, and about 400 horsepower. So
Perfect.
Good. Yeah, it's good. Pops
Great
and
car.
crackles and does silly stuff.
Absolutely brilliant car.
That is Tommy's car. That is the RX-8 that we will be doing on my second channel soon. That's a ex-SEMA car, super crazy rotary, big turbo, that sort of thing. But over here is a car that is very special to me because this is a car that me and Jack from Jack Builds It, he's over there probably in the bathroom, we collaborated on. And I originally put this out on my channel, and then we moved it over to his channel, and he is just killing it with this thing. So it's a Noble M400. Started life as a Noble M12 GTO 3R. And we had two cars. One was crashed, one was burned. And then he combined them, and he's doing crazy stuff. Like he's like reinforced the chassis. He's put air jacks, so you can put air to it and goes like that. Yep. He's done stuff like integrated handles from like a Nissan GTR, so it's all flush mount and doesn't look old. And he's doing a lot of work to this, and this is going to be the cleanest. I mean, if you saw that Evo, this is going to be the cleanest Noble in existence.
I can see it coming already. Yeah. Excited to see more of that on Jack's channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have my Lamborghini Gallardo twin turbo.
Old Faithful.
Old Faithful, gated manual. We say Old Faithful, but it hasn't been started in like 3 years. So that's good. We have my E46 M3 that's just collecting dust, but it has custom interior, custom paint, and all that stuff. We're actually waiting on another YouTuber to collaborate on to finish that, and it's going to be really cool. And then we have the two Supras. So we have mine up top, that's a parts car, and then we have Jack's in the bottom. That's also now sort of a parts car, but he's going to get to that at some point. And
basically, if you leave cars lying around, give it enough time, and eventually they get used for something.
Absolutely. Like we find uses for every single part, and now we have all this stuff. I don't know if this is V8 or V10 stuff. We have parts over there. They're strewn everywhere. But you, Tim, will be able to see a lot of these cars because you're coming out to my show. Right?
Absolutely, you know it.
Yeah, so I should probably, I'm going to do a little bit of a plug.
Go for it. Be my guest. Yes, everybody pay attention.
All right, so there's a show in December 6th through 8th. It's called Werx, and it's going to be in Central Florida, and it's going to be held at Circuit, Florida. This is what I want to be the Goodwood Festival of Speed for the US. So we're going to have a bunch of car influencers there, like me, like Tim. We're going to have Derek from Vice Grip Garage. We're going to have Chris Fix. We're going to have like a ton of people there, and just having a good time, enjoying cars. We're going to have supercars, hypercars. We're going to have all my cars. And we're also going to have some live track stuff. So we're going to have Ben Collins, previous Stig. He's going to be doing some track work. We're going to have thrill rides, and we're also going to be doing a live build. So me and a bunch of other car influencers, and I hope you'll do it as well.
Yeah, put me on the spot.
Yeah, like just turn some wrenches, and at the end of the show, that car we're building, we're going to give away to somebody at the show. So just go get tickets right now. You can, I think the tickets are live now as the video goes live, and it's at wrenchwerx.com. So it's Wrench, W-R-E-N-C-H, Werx, W-E-R-X.com, and and then that's about it. But this is, it's my brainchild, but I'm also working with a bunch of other people that are like they've done work in the UK, and I'm really proud of it. I hope it does well. It's the first year, and we're putting a lot of effort into it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see a bunch of your cars.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to try and bring along something.
Yes.
We'll see what I have around at the time.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, we'll build you a car.
Yeah?
We will build you a car. We will build you a Schmeemobile better than any Schmeemobile you've ever seen.
That's a bold statement. I'm shaking it right now.
Absolutely.
You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah, PT Cruiser.
Oh, no.
No.
I joke. Thank you very much for showing us around, Freddy.
Dude, thank you so much.
Awesome to see the changes, second unit, new side, just like absolutely mega.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. It's always a pleasure.
Well, that brings us to a close for today. Amazing to see all of the updates Freddy and the team have done here, expanding the whole new side, the growth of the collection and the projects, tons of things in the works as well for the future. And of course, hopefully see some of you guys at Werx also. The information is down below. Do go check out Freddy's channel for plenty more updates with the famous flooded P1 and plenty more. But that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.